Ladies and gentlemen, you'd think that Elizabeth Warren would care about $40 million being sent to the Bidens from our greatest adversary. You would think that she would care. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The Department of Justice, and almost certainly the Federal Bureau of Investigation is investigating whether Elizabeth Warren indeed controlled the AUTOPEN. It's all the news right now, from CNN to the New York Post to Fox News. And hit subscribe and you will hear Elizabeth Warren right now explaining Biden's pardons. But before that, let's listen to David Sachs. Is David Sachs correct pertaining to Elizabeth Warren?
From the Democrats. This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the AUTOPEN during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants.
So if Elizabeth Warren controlled the AUTOPEN, and like Dan Bongino stated on X last year, a couple years back, the Democrats are correct. Okay, so bank records, you had suspicious activity reports linked to the Bidens, very bizarre LLCs, Biden being referred to as the big man, the chairman. You have a whole bunch of people claiming that there was a surreptitious endeavor regarding graft and bribery. So Democrats said, well, there's nobody. His own witness stated in congressional testimony that there's no direct evidence that he didn't see that that Biden accepted cash. It's like, why would you accept cash if you're the president or the vice president? My God, Democrats are so naive when it comes to simple questions pertaining to the bribery and graft of their political party. Nobody accepts a signed letter from oligarchs and like Clinton's foundation and Joe Biden's business endeavors were not documented in a manner that they would admit all their foul play and corruption. Shady and corrupt people don't write down exactly all the criminal activity they're engaged in. You don't see mobsters and high-level politicians engaged in graft writing down an invoice. Okay, here's the money I'm going to give you. Go ahead and give that to a corporation that another person that I know owns, or a foundation, or a uranium deal, or whatever, signed the Democrats accepting graft and bribery, and, this is the date, and here's the invoice pertaining to the bribery and graft, so you can eventually indict and convict and arrest and indict and convict all of us. That's not the way graft and bribery works, which is exactly why, if this is correct, Elizabeth Warren, the FBI, could possibly arrest Elizabeth Warren.
And it's graft, it's corruption. Is that what you're seeing?
Not at all. No, look, this is a huge, thriving community. There's so many people involved. It just keeps getting bigger and better every year. This is just partisan rhetoric from the Democrats. This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the AUTOPEN during that administration.
So if Elizabeth Warren controlled the AUTOPEN, and the Department of Justice and almost certainly the Federal Bureau of Investigation is investigating, and people say, well, it didn't happen, it hasn't happened. Well, you know what? The writing is on the wall. Watch this.
Have been left in the dust.
The last-minute pardons by then President Biden to his family members, there were pardons earlier this morning, which were reported on, but these last-minute pardons, he chose to make at the last minute when there wouldn't be as much attention, obviously, and there wouldn't kind of overshadow the ride to the Capitol. Was that a mistake?
So Elizabeth Warren is not going to say that it was a mistake. Listen to what she says, but you would think that she would care about a preemptive pardon pertaining to $40 million from a Russian oligarch going to Democrats. Okay? If any real estate company linked to Trump, let's say Trump didn't own it, linked to Trump, got $40 million from a Russian oligarch. Democrats, media, everyone, every morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat would not stop hyperventilating. And with Democrats, it's, oh, well, you know what? You can't prove anything. Then you have the deputy director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation highlighting exactly why Biden preemptively pardoned everyone around him. Hunter is the least, like, he probably committed the least amount of crimes. And Hunter is probably like the most ethical and moral person within that entire within the Democratic, or within Biden's circle. Okay, it should tell you something about Biden's circle. And so why would Elizabeth Warren defend that? Oh, she's going to say that Trump is going to go after his direct political rivals. That's literally what they did to Trump and Trump's family. They went after Trump. They went after Trump's family. They went after everyone around Trump. They tried to imprison him. They tried to indict him 1,000,000 times, and he won the popular vote. And Democrats are sinking continually in the polls. You have people who disowned friends and family, only to watch a two-time president in President Trump, who won the popular vote, and J.D. Vance, nothing stopping J.D. Vance. I don't see another Trump Republican winning, but the Democrats, 4 years from now, are going to suddenly run a candidate that the entire country will rally around after 10 years of the most apoplectic, hyperventilating media coverage, where they're just consistently not only, what's the word? Not eccentric. Anyway, let's listen to this. You would think Elizabeth Warren would be upset.
Look, President Biden should answer for himself, but it's a sad day in America when someone leaving office has to look around and say, am I facing a new president and a new administration who's going to come after my family?
That is exactly what you did to Trump's family. That is exactly what Democrats did to Trump's family, to people around Trump, to General Flynn, to George Papadopoulos, to everyone around Trump. And they accused them of specific crimes. They were innocent, and then they got individuals on process crimes, allegedly lying to Federal Bureau of Investigation agents. And they accused Trump of being a Kremlin operative, when it was the Bidens that got $40 million from a Russian oligarch. And it's unbelievable how Democrats would fall back on, well, they might go after Biden. Trump might go after Biden. What, after Biden went after Trump for 4 years?
Just because they're my family, that's going to come after people I love just because I love them, not because they're accused of any crimes, not because they've done anything wrong, but just because they're the people I care about.
This is about as accurate as Elizabeth Warren stating that her ethnicity is something other than what she is. Do you think that Trump would want to go after Biden just because he loved his family? What kind of absurd nonsense is this? You have Dan Bongino talking about emails, a laptop that 50 intel officials stated was Russian disinformation. Then we find out that $40 million from that country went to a Hunter Biden-linked real estate company. And that's just, I mean, we're just talking. And then, again, they're hysterical over a plane, okay, that Trump gets that will go to a library, okay. They did everything possible to cover up a laptop full of bribery and graft. And then Elizabeth Warren is going out of the way to justify preemptive pardons when the entire narrative was that there was nothing wrong. So with Democrats, they consistently stated, well, what do you have to hide? What are you so worried about the indictment if there was nothing wrong? Well, obviously, the issue here is this is just one story. $40 million Emails shared with the Daily Mail show Hunter Biden's real estate firm received $40 million investment from the widow of a former Moscow mayor. Suddenly, Democrats don't care about the Cold War that they created in 2016. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. If the DOJ is involved, so is Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. Hit subscribe. Thank you.